Well, today it's Friday, and since normally we don't have class on Fridays, we thought we'd still like to do something. So I did just put up the new date so you can see what today's day is. And I have a story I'm going to read to you. It's a little bit longer. It's called Gid the Kid and the Black Bean Bandits. Doing the right thing ain't always easy. And this is a fun story. If you listen carefully, you might realize that it's kind of based on a Bible story put in a different time. So see if you can figure that out by the end of the story. In those days, there was no sheriff, and everyone did what was right in his own eyes. The town of Promise was known through the West for its black bean chili, because it was the best. But instead of being proud of the award they had won, they were afraid that one day bean bandits would come. One day at high noon, 13 bandits arrived. These guys were so mean there was nothing they liked except for black beans, which they stole with a grin. Then they posted a sign and were gone with the wind. Mayor McDougal was the first to speak up. If the White Rider were here, he'd capture those thugs. What we need is a sheriff to stand up to these dudes. No one stepped forward. They all shook in their boots. The bandits came back every week to steal lunch. Young Gid, like the others, was afraid of the bunch. So he hid all his beans in the mines outside town. They'll never look here, he said, glancing around. Howdy, son. Out of nowhere, a stranger appeared. Why are you hiding your beans way out here? Those bandits are bullies. Stand up. Don't back down. Now put on this badge and go back to take your town. Gid was as quick as a freshly made whip. He didn't trust strangers. It could be a trick. I'm no sheriff, Gid said. I'm too small and too slow. If you think it's so easy, then why don't you go? I'm the White Rider, the man said with a wink. And when I ride with you, you're more brave than you think. Gid paused for a moment. Could it really be true? If you are who you say, show me what you can do. The rider laughed warmly, then said something silly. I have an idea. Bring a cold pot of chili. Then he narrowed his eyes, and with the tip of his hat, a fire burst under Gid's pot, just like that. That's a pretty slick trick, Gid turned in surprise, but the rider was gone. Gid just rubbed his eyes. Then a voice in the sky said, stand up for what's right. Don't be afraid. I'll help in the fight. And don't forget, eat your chili while it's still hot tonight. Early next morning, the town gathered round. Where the sign had once been was a hole in the ground. When the bandits come back, they'll be angry with us. Who could have done this? They wondered and fussed. I did, Gid stated as he stood proud and tall with the badge on his chest. He didn't feel quite so small. Get him, the mob shouted and started to charge, but the mayor stepped in before Gid could be harmed. Whose side are y'all on? We're not like the bandits. If Gid has something to say, let's not misunderstand it. Now let's hear the boy out before we decide. Then Gid gave the challenge to stand up, not hide. The White Rider is back, Gid explained to the crowd, and he rides alongside us to take back our town. Hooray, the town shouted, the rider's alive. And 21 men saddled up for the ride. They rode off in pursuit with Gid leading the pack. Where's the White Rider? A man yelled from the back. They all looked around. He was nowhere to be seen. If the rider is with us, then where has he been? Gid started to worry. The men could be right. I'll leave some cold chili in my pot overnight. If the chili is hot come morning, we'll know the White Rider's with us wherever we go. The smell of black beans woke Gid up on the spot. The White Rider was there and the chili was hot. Howdy, son, the White Rider sat, tending the fire. Looks like a mighty big posse you've hired. In fact, it's too many counting me on your side. Send home every man who has fear in his eyes. Gid needed the men, but agreed it was best. When the dust finally settled, just 7 were left. 7's too many, I think you'll agree, the writer declared. We'll need only 3. Keep only the most alert of your clan, the ones who eat black beans straight from the can. Only 3 men against more than a dozen? You must be mistaken, Gid's head was a-buzzin'. But the writer convinced him the law would prevail, so only 2 men rode with Gid down the trail. Up round the bend they could see Devil's Bluff, where the bean bandits camped with their chili and stuff. We'll set up an ambush and take them by surprise. Split up, surround them, take cover, and hide. When the glow of the moon peeked out from a cloud, Gid's men banged their pots and they shouted out loud, Bean bandits beware, the White Rider is here. As long as he's with us, we've nothing to fear. The bandits in camp were shocked at the roar. No one had ever come out here before. The clanging of pots made a frightening sound. Running into each other, they fell to the ground. The victors rode home with the bandits in tow. The town threw a party like none they had known. 3 cheers for our Gid, the proud mayor raved. He trusted the rider, and our town has been saved. So the people of Promise learned a lesson that day. When bullies do bad things, don't be afraid. Stand up for what's right. Don't hide back in fear. Just trust the White Rider. He'll always be near. And remember, black bean chili goes great with root beer. The end. So in this story, we found that we had a boy named Gid who was challenged by God to be brave. That's who the White Rider really is God. And Gid is the name for Gideon in the Bible. So if you want to look up another story that's related to this one, that this one's based on, you can read the story straight from the Bible about Gideon. I'm going to be sending some questions this time with our email and the attachment, so you can look through those questions with your moms and dads if you'd like to. And there's a recipe for black bean chili in case you want to try something out this weekend. So hope you enjoyed the story today. Looking forward to seeing you again sometime. Take care. Bye-bye.